Y'all, can I tell you about these Tecovas boots? I don't know if y'all know this, but these boots are handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable right out of the box. I know we buy everything online these days, but boots are something you really should get fitted for. And it just so happens Tecovas is based right here in Austin. So come shop with me at the Tecovas store on South Congress or the Domain. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, the MLB is talking about expanding to new cities, and a couple of guys are hoping that the league picks Austin. All it's going to take is a strong culture, 100 acres, and a few $1 billion. I'm talking about all of it with KXAN's Grace Reeder, baseball fanatic and optimist. And stay tuned after Grace's interview for a special segment, A Mile in Their Boots, where we feature the unsung heroes of Austin. A Mile in Their Boots and CityCast Austin are brought to you by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tecovas. It's Wednesday, August 14th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, we are here with Grace Reeder, reporter from KXAN, and we are going to talk a little bit about baseball. What's up, Grace? How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. So now Austin is one of the largest U.S. markets without an existing NFL, NBA, or MLB team. And for those of you that maybe, don't do sports like I do not do sports, in MLB is Major League Baseball. So we do not have a Major League Baseball team, but we hear that this could change. Is that true?
So there's a possibility, or at least an effort underway. So there are some folks who would really like it to happen, who are big sports people. So the way that this is working is the MLB has flirted with the idea of expanding from 30 teams to 32 teams. They wanted to make sure that their existing 30 teams all had stable stadiums and that they had that all figured out before they expanded. So there were two teams in particular who kind of had some shaky stadium situations, and those have started to work themselves out. And so that's why this conversation is really being brought up right now. And there are some folks who are trying to entice one of those teams to come to the city of Austin, but there's competition for it. Salt Lake and Nashville want it.
Of course.
Some other places that are looking at it. And so we're a little bit behind the ball in terms of getting this community initiative started. But some folks are kicking off that process and want it to happen. So
this group, Austin Baseball Commission, thinks there's a chance this could happen. Where did the idea come from? Who are these people, and what exactly is it that they want? Why do they want this for Austin?
Absolutely. So it's really, frankly, two guys and their buddies. And they told me while we were talking that they were basically at like a wine party with their wives and started talking about Austin politics. One of them is a business guy, does sales. It's Austin. You run into sales guys at every wine party you're going to end up at.
All the time, of course.
And then the other one is Matt McCowiak, and he is probably most well known for starting the group that got the camping ban put on Austin voters' ballots. And so he's the political guy. So they have joined forces and they said, you know what, you've got the business, I've got the politics. Let's see if we can get this commission up and running. And they're not doing it alone. They are right now collecting people to be on commissions within the commission. So folks to reach out to, folks to get money, and people who are going to try and get the baseball folks involved. We've got baseball people here in Austin and they need to get on board. So this is the beginning of what they're trying to make a very large collaborative effort.
There are fewer people more driven than like two drunk dudes at a party. Or two drunk people at a party, period.
You're telling me you've never had a good idea drunk at a wine party?
Yeah. This is the best idea we've ever had.
Hey, I've come up with some myself. Yeah.
We are going to make this happen. Yeah, I love that. So we already have the Texas Longhorns baseball team and then the Round Rock Express. Mm-hmm. And Round Rock Express is minor league baseball. But what do you think makes Austin a good place for a major major league baseball team? Because that's a different animal.
I think one of their messages was that we have this major TV market that is growing and that is going up the rankings in terms of viewership. And we don't have a team that is right here in Austin to be able to put on it. And not only that, but just when you have a major city with a bunch of people in it, it's a fun thing to do. And so I think, that really is what it comes down to. And, personally, I'm a big baseball fan. I grew up in Denver. I am a Rockies fan, unfortunately. They're like, I know you're not sports, so I'll tell you they're the second worst team in the MLB right now as of this recording. So I would love an Austin baseball team. I will ditch my hometown team in a heartbeat right now. I will bandwagon fan this team so hard.
That's amazing. My partner is from Denver too, and I
Really?
have absolutely heard her mention the Rockies.
It's not good. So I'm just coming from a selfish perspective here.
I do feel like Austin is a sports city. We do love to cheer and get behind stuff. So, I mean, as is obvious, Austin FC.
Right.
Austin FC, they have seen their success has been crazy. Almost all of their season ticket holders renew. Do you have any idea on what has made them so successful in Austin and if these two men are thinking about if you think that that's anywhere in their brain?
I think what they need to consider is the culture that Austin FC fostered and created. And they have, the celebrations that they have there and the regulars that show up to the games. It's a culture.
Oh, my God.
So I think they need to really consider that and get the community on board with this idea. And that's why they're starting this effort this way. They want it to be a community-fed and led idea.
Smart.
And get people on board, figure out what people want so that they can create that community before they, get on the MLB's radar.
Now, I will say this. Round Rock Express, their stadium, some of the best snacks I've ever had in my entire life. And so if these two guys are listening, y'all need to just understand that your snack game needs to be top tier.
It's got to be good. What is your favorite snack there?
Oh, I mean, listen, hot dog, straight up.
Listen, I'm a baseball hot dog girl myself. That's pretty much the only time I'll eat a hot dog.
Same.
But I go to a baseball game and I'm like, give me 3.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. In the little foil wrap. So they just need to make sure they have their snack game.
Yes.
So, okay. Now, we have a lot happening in this city right now. Construction alone, right?
Sure.
Where would this team play?
This is one of and to be fair to these guys, they came right out to me. I sat down and they said, here are the challenges. The first is cost. It's going to cost so much money to bring an MLB team to Austin. Billions of dollars. And these are estimates right now.
What?
$4 or $5 billion. And that's, you've got to pay the MLB to have the team. You've got to build the stadium in Arlington, which is where the Rangers play, which was built years ago, cost more than $1 billion. You've got to have a retractable roof in Austin because it's hot as heck here. And so you cannot let them be out in the sun. So it's going to cost a whole lot of money. And then on top of that, you've got to find the space to build this stadium, to have the parking. It's nearly 100 acres or something that you need to build a ballpark like this. You've got to have public transit.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, 80 to 100 acres. And you have to consider it's not just space, but it's got to be mixed use space, especially in Austin. We know that our local leaders will want affordable housing, public transit to and from the stadium. So this would be a massive undertaking, a huge amount of effort to make this happen.
Picturing in my mind where it could possibly go. I'm just trying to picture where there'd be 100 acres where people. And at first I'm like, well, nobody's going to drive out there. But then I look at Coda. People drive out to Coda all the time.
Right.
Okay, now, is it true that baseball runs almost 9 months a year? Or did I just... Because I feel like every time I look up, baseball is on.
Yes, they have a really long season. And I think what surprises people most who don't watch baseball is that they play so regularly. So I was making fun of a coworker actually not that long ago who was saying, oh, I got shuffled off a weekend, so I can go to Round Rock Express games now. And I was like, girl, there are baseball games every day of the week.
Oh my
You can
God.
go whenever you want. So when I'm following the Rockies, I religiously watch the Rockies, even though they are bad. And it's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, there's always baseball on. And so they play a lot of games. It's more than 160 a season.
Oh my
and they
God.
also have a long season.
That would fit here, actually. That just something that people can just go do on a Tuesday. That would probably work here.
It's very Austin, yes.
So Any thoughts on names? Did they have any thoughts on names or mascots?
So they did not have name thoughts, but boy, did we over here at KXAN. We started like an internal newsroom poll.
Yes.
We had everything from like the Pennybacker Bridges, which was a terrible idea. Dylan McKim, one of our morning reporters, was pitching the green belts. We had a lot of bats, but then you don't want to mix with ACC too much.
Exactly.
And the River Bats is too cool. Like they already did it. You can't do the bats.
You know, like something to do with music. What would the mascot be?
Right.
It'd be like a guitar. And then I thought, oh man, what if we had a mascot that was like a cowboy hat? And I was like, surely someone has done that already. I mean, for me, that would be the hardest part about all of this. Never mind the 80 to 100 acres. I would have some the very strong feelings about the name. So speaking of your story, like what kind of response did you get after your story ran? How people responded to the idea?
It was one of our most read stories on KXAN.com for days.
What?
People, I think, and listen, I'm a baseball girl, so I'm so biased. I'm acknowledging my bias as a reporter here. But like, I think people do really like the idea of Austin having a major sports team, whether that be baseball, hockey. We love our Verde, and, that has been really fun. We love UT, and I myself go to quite a few UT football games, but there's just something different about, being in an NFL situation or, watching the Avalanche, the Rockies. It's just, it's different. And I think Austinites were excited about it.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. Now we have quite a few celebrities in town. Who do you think would be the celebrity that would be the first one to adopt this team? Like, who would be the celebrity version, the baseball version of Matthew McConaughey? Who would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question, because everyone goes right to Matthew McConaughey.
I know.
And I feel he would get involved, let's be real.
He would
You'd see
get
him
involved.
on the field.
I would want it to be like Sandra Bullock.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would want it to be somebody that nobody would ever think about. And it would turn out they would be this crazy baseball fan. That's what I want.
Sandra Bullock just descends from her Lake Austin home for every game. Yeah, I would love that.
Does Nolan Ryan still live here?
Yeah, I think so. Well, they would really need the Ryans on board.
I mean,
period.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Let's say that it's decided we get someone on board. Like, let's just say some, fun billionaire drops down from the skies like, oh, okay, guys, fine, I'm here, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Do they have any realistic expectation as to how long we're looking at for this project to be completed?
Yeah, so the MLB has set the parameters for that. Obviously, it takes time to find a space and to build a stadium, but the MLB would really like to see this happen by 2029 is the number that's been floated out there. So I think that's a lot sooner than people think. 2029 in terms of finding public transit and affordable housing and getting this through to council would be significant.
I mean, that's... do they realize that that's only like 5 years away?
Right. And you've sat through city council meetings. Getting that zoned, good luck.
Oh my God. I mean, seriously, that's an interesting goal. That's an interesting goal. Because I was definitely thinking 10 years. I was like,
no, yeah, they're trying to get it going. So we'll see.
My fear, I will be very honest with you, my fear is that Elon Musk is just going to sniff out this opportunity and just be like, okay, and he's going to be the one. It's going to be sponsored by Tesla. I don't know. I don't want to put that in his brain, but
hey, Tesla jerseys would be cool. And if it brings a baseball team to Austin, I am team Elon Musk.
Grace, I love that you're just like, by any means necessary. By any means necessary.
I think it'd be cool. Tesla could make some cool jerseys. That stadium would probably look sick.
Oh my God. It would be the most garish, futuristic, the ceiling would probably come completely off like a transformer. Right. Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be crazy.
Step into space and watch some baseball and eat some hot dogs.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm into it.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most likely, how likely, honestly, do you think it is that we will see a Major League Baseball team in Austin?
So I'm going to give you first an answer from our lead sports anchor, Roger Wallace, who, when I did this story, came out, and we make fun of Roger because we love him dearly, but he can be a curmudgeon with these stories. So we make fun of him with the dearest respect. But he came out and said, you know what? I love that you did the story because we needed to do it. but it's probably not going to happen. And I was like, all right, Roger. So on the scale of Roger's curmudgeon being 0 and my hopeful needing to bail out of being a Rockies fan at 4, we're somewhere in that range.
Okay. Love this. Love this. First of all, I have to say that it is delightful talking to someone that just loves baseball so much because I don't have that in my life. And so now you have me excited about it.
Nice.
Is there anything else that we should be looking out for, or is there anywhere that they are posting their progress?
Yeah, so the Austin Baseball Commission has made a website, and they're working through social media stuff right now, and they really truly are trying to get sort of that community involvement right now. And so they're asking people to reach out. What they're doing is they're asking people to sign up for season tickets, which obviously don't exist. That's not actually what you're doing. And these guys don't have the ability to sell tickets for a future team. But it's like a symbolic, would you pay for season tickets to watch baseball? And they've already had hundreds of people sign up to do that. But it helps them have a little bit of leverage to go to folks and say, we want to fund this. We have interest.
They're garnering interest. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to be on the lookout. I think I'm just going to probably do it the lazy way. And I'm just going to kind of follow you and see if you talk about it.
I'll be following it. So that's an easy way to do it. City Hall and baseball. That's my beat.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Next up, let's walk a mile in Chris Harris's boots, brought to you by our launch sponsor, Tecovas. Hello, I am here with Chris Harris, Associate Director of Advocacy for Texas Civil Rights Project. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
It's so good to see you. So let's start off top. Who are you?
Oh, goodness. Originally from East Texas, Commerce, Texas. An only child, and I'm an advocate and an organizer and a husband and a proud son to my amazing mother, who's up in Dallas still. Hey, Mom.
And what is your job?
My job, for the most part, over the last 8 years or so, has been to organize people, to advocate, mostly to our local government and state government institutions, for more just policies, primarily around issues related to policing and the criminal legal system. We've really seen and made so many connections between, systems of policing and incarceration and, the lack of other things like healthcare, like housing, like food stability. And so it's also included advocating for a whole lot of things related to more investments in things that actually keep people alive and healthy and safe. In addition to, advocating against the things that bring people harm and death.
So I'm curious, how did you get into this line of work?
I decided to study politics in school. And during that time, I read a lot of things, both the things they wanted me to read, and I think a lot of things they probably didn't want me to read. And honestly, it opened my eyes to some of the experiences that both I and members of my family had, right? Like things that I just accepted as part of society, and life in this country, in this world, in this time and place. Mm-hmm. And came to see as like, oh, that was really wrong. And it didn't have to be that way. And like, maybe we can do it different. And so I went out to DC right after school, and I was working for a think tank, and that was not what I was into. And I was skipping work, going to protests, and eventually that caught up to me. And I was like, okay, I gotta leave here and do something else. And so I have family here in Austin. So I came here and I went to private school for college. So I had all these loans. So I said, let me just do something I can do to pay these loans off. So I knew just enough like tech stuff to get into the tech world. So did that, paid my loans off, saved up just a little bit, and then made the leap. I just started doing what I could do. And then, that turned into an organizer job.
So let's walk a mile in your boots. What does an average day look like for you?
Well, there's no average day, but that suits me perfectly. I'm somebody who really enjoys a day spent facilitating a workshop and building with people and catching up and hearing stories and chopping it up and shooting the shit with folks. And then I really want to decompress and spend the next day like hitting a spreadsheet, like dissecting numbers and
Okay, wait a
discovering
minute.
things.
You said, wait a minute. You just said decompress and hit the spreadsheet. I love that is how you decompress.
Yeah, so some days it's like I'm taking information and I'm trying to analyze it and trying to find things out and then trying to disseminate that information, getting it in the hands of other people so that, together we can figure out what to do about it.
So tell me, why does your work matter, first of all, to you?
I personally believe that a good life is a life spent making the world better for not just ourselves, but for, all of the people around us and the people that come after us. I sleep best at night when I know that I've actively engaged in work that that is helping to ensure that everyone in our community has what they need to survive and ideally to thrive.
Why does your work matter to Austin as a whole?
If you live in a community where a lot of people don't have or are in dire straits or are really struggling, then one, it's a staying on the conscience of everybody in that community who allows that to happen and doesn't say anything or do anything. And two, it actually hurts you. It hurts you because those folks are still here, right? And they're going to get what they need one way or the other. We should have created avenues for everybody to get what they need in like ways that we all like. So that's why I think it's important to Austin.
So like, once you've done all of that, where do you go to relax or have fun when the work for the day is done?
I really love basketball personally. So I try to play basketball about 3-4 times a week. Where I usually play is at, don't publish this because I don't want everybody running up there, but it's Hancock. It's like a court hidden inside of that golf course. You know that Hancock Center? There's a golf course there. There's a basketball court like hidden up in there.
What?
I know. Shh. And then, I really love watching basketball, being around basketball in some form or fashion. A real decompression is not probably in spreadsheet. It's probably like playing, Civ, doing some world building.
You said Sims?
No, Civ, Civilization.
You put me on to all kind of things. Thank you for being here. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
So now y'all go check out Chris's social media to learn more about his work. We'll have the links in our show notes. Thank you for listening. And thanks again to Tecovas for sponsoring this interview. That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Grace's reporting in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.